Alright, so we got a lot of things going on for us today. For a lot of you, it's been a while since I've touched an American Truck Simulator. Because unfortunately, it's not that I haven't been. It's just that right now I am going to be uploading this as an actual YouTube video and not a live stream. This is going to be live streamed, of course, through TikTok and through Trovo right away. So sometimes, um, so there's a lot of things that 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 I wanted to come in and share a lot of things with you guys that are absolutely important. Um, and and of course, there are a a lot of things going on. Um, there's a lot of things going on today, and so we're gonna get into the Child Online Safety Act. That I know this has been going on for quite a little bit, but I know there's a lot of people already been talking about this personally, but I wanted to come in and actually share with you guys my own personal take on this, because it is absolutely important that we get into talking about it. We've also got a lot of the UK stuff, thanks Stephen Seseda. Remember, guys, if you guys want full screen, you guys can always turn your screen to the side. It works well on TikTok, so if you want to see the full screen, you can do it that way. If you're on Trovo, you guys can watch it in full screen here as well. Um, but we'll get into talking about that. Personally, not just the UK though. We're gonna be talking this coming from an American citizen. And then we're also going to be talking about the there's this law that apparently is talking about, and a couple other laws, and mainly one that's making um America, um making marriage great again. Um okay, well, let me be clear. Um, we'll talk on the marriage stuff. We'll get into a whole lot more, a lot of stuff related to it. There's a couple other things that needs to be said as well, pertaining to some little bit of some hot button topics, that you guys will just have to wait and find out as well, because um we need to kind of get into it, and I just don't want to give you guys any hopes and dreams on this stuff, because a lot of times they're good intentions, but they're not good intentions. They're really bad intentions. So anyway, we will see you guys back here in a minute.
Cherry blossom take the skies in a Lamborghini view from Tokyo light to Kyoto station.
Yeah.
Dreams come alive where spirits rise.
I push 50 opponents off the track, baby.
In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. Through city streets and temples high, find your story beneath the sky. Waves scratch, pumping out your sense. How many close to the best of lands in the neon glow? Where is best, the culture rich, where resistance in the morn of grace. We'll dance the night with every star, a guiding light. In Japan, where the sun will always shine, traditions collide with the future's line. The cherry lanes and
Well, I just got myself an AS valve already.
near the moonlit nights.
Oh, really? Thank you, Glass. Thank you. Um, Anywho, there's this thing where you guys have probably seen the Online Child Safety Act, of course. You've probably heard about it. You've probably seen it. And does it affect you? If you don't live in the UK, it doesn't affect you right now. But if you live in the United States, it could affect you at some point because um, there's a similar law going through Congress right now that basically requires you to have some form of identification known as the CASA Act, Keep Kids Online Safety Act, pretty much the same thing that the UK is doing, um, and it's not they're not out there to protect children. They're out there to farm data because you take the information and okay, Glass. I should be on then too. Thanks. I should be on playing some Fortnite then too. Um, or close to it. But you take a look at the Online Safety Act. It's no way, shape, or form is it actually protecting people's identification. They don't, and they don't realize that by inputting your ID into a system, you put that ID in Wikipedia or any website because Wikipedia is affected by this now too. It's not just affecting adult content. Okay, the Child's Online Safety Act does not affect the content of protecting children. It's there to basically collect your data and to know who's posting what and knowing what's going on because that's the whole thing. It's like go use a VPN. I am telling you to circumvent it because I don't gonna get in trouble by the UK for saying this. Usually use a VPN because a VPN's gonna save your butt more than once. Do not use Proton though. Proton has been known for logging your data. Use private internet access. Use NordVPN. Use something that's not free, because a free VPN is not going to protect you compared to um, yeah. I don't know why. Don't know why that, but um, thanks Samalaro and for joining the Trovo stream. Thank you. Thanks user for joining the TikTok live. This Online Safety Act does not protect anybody, and it undermines the privacy of a lot of people. It undermines anything. It's like they had the T app, um, one that's supposed to help. It's supposed to help women to protect them from actually being harmed by men. And they're to basically now they're able to be doxxed by these men because they're and it's like it's no way in protecting your data. If somebody gets hacked, your data is not protected. These companies think that they're protecting children from accessing content. They're basically blocking Wikipedia if um unless they comply with the effectiveness of allowing them to have access to their information by basically requiring them to use their ID. And it's not in any way, shape, or form protecting anybody's data. You're not protecting people's data because you decide um to do it. The Online Safety Act also does not protect anybody's data outside of the typical does not protect anybody's data um and they're trying to say, oh well, Wikipedia should have to follow this, because but Wikipedia is a place of, actually, mostly of good source. I'm not going to say any source that you get, any information you get from these platforms, nobody is fully safe or protected. The source is protected. Nobody has absolutely protective. Um, they think that they have everything figured out, thinking that, oh, we're going to protect people's life by protecting children, and it's not protecting children. You're actually harming adults, because, let me be clear, um, you know, if you're and I'm gonna I will admit, I will absolutely admit to this, and I will tell you, I am somebody that actually goes out and watches the adult content on the internet. Okay, and yes, you guys have seen it before, but um, they think that they are protecting the kids by, North Dakota has this thing where they basically say, oh well, we're protecting kids by using by not preventing them from having access to adult content. Well, guess what? um I want you to know that the major hub site, okay, there's another place that got changed that basically allows me to have access to, because and I'm not living in North Dakota, by the way. I just get my internet through North Dakota and not through Minnesota. And basically, they say they are protecting it when I can go to a couple other websites that actually allow for me to have access to it. And they basically, oh well, they're preventing it. Well, guess what? They aren't blocking the sites. Once you block a website from kids from having access, they're just gonna find a way to get around all of this. Kids know how to get around all these things. Okay, I am one of those people that can get around certain blocks on the internet, because guess what? It doesn't protect you. It doesn't it's how one of the times I actually got a virus on my computer when I was a kid. Accessing certain things you shouldn't be accessing because you're a kid, and it's like you want to talk about accessing magazines and accessing things. Guess what? Kids had access to adult magazines as a kid. You're not protecting kids' lives. You're not protecting kids by not letting them have access to it. They're gonna find savvy ways. If they had access to it before these laws come into place, they're gonna find a way to figure out how to get to it. It's gonna be a lot harder for younger people, but if you are somebody that's 13 years old and now, compared to somebody 13 years old in 10 years from now, it's going to be different, of course. But a child can still have access to it. You're not blocking these sites from having certain access. Okay, if they're basically this online safety act from the UK. If you don't meet certain requirements, you can't access to certain websites, and yada yada yada. Okay, you can have access to them if they're not meeting a high threshold. Okay, well, guess what? If they don't reach that high threshold, that means they can still have access to it. That means they still have access to the adult content, because there are going to be sites that aren't going to comply with the UK law. There are going to be sites that aren't complying with North Dakota or Texas or any law for that matter. Okay? You're not protecting kids. If you want to protect your kids from having access, start utilizing the parental controls. Parental controls are pretty much instilled in almost everything. You have parental controls on Steam. You have parental controls on your phone. You have parental controls on Windows. You know, you know, if you aren't protecting your kids by going and act by by allowing the government to do it, you're lazy. You're absolutely a lazy parent. You don't care. You don't care. You'd rather not let your kid have access. You'd rather just not care, and maybe your kid's accessing it, maybe your kid's not, and maybe you find out eventually that they're accessing it, and then you get in trouble. You get chew them out for it, but you didn't do the due diligence in preventing them from accessing it in the first place by using those parental controls. Windows 11 has it built in. Your Samsung phone, your Apple, everything has parental controls. You have access. If you don't want them accessing certain content, all you have to do is go in and use Cloudflare's DNS service and set it up to 1.1.1.1.3 pretty much. You have control. You have abilities to protect your children. There are things out there that you can do a lot better. Now, of course, if you're doing that, all you can do it is setting it through a router and hide it behind a password, so that your kids can't access it, and then you can prevent yourself and your kids from accessing it entirely. And if you wanted to access it, all you have to do is log into the Wi-Fi and turn it off for 15-20 minutes, and then turn it back on. It's that simple and easy if you don't want your kids accessing it. It's really that simple. And basically now, another thing that they're doing, that I wanted to talk about, this is one's hot button, is like if you talk about abortion, okay? I want to actually preferably, thanks Timmy Toucher for joining the TikTok live. I wanted to share with you guys this law, this Child Interstate Abortion Notification Act. Okay, this means that anybody who has an abortion that lives, for example, in Texas, or lives, an example, in North Dakota, or in a place where abortion is banned to an extent, that does not prevent, and it makes it a crime punishable by a fine, imprisonment up to 1 year, or both, for any person knowingly transporting a minor across state lines with the intent that minor in attainment of abortion, violating parental involvement laws in the minor's home state. Ugh. But they put in for life-saving exceptions for it. Protection from prosecution. Neither the minor nor their parent may be persecuted or sued under the section if the transportation violated the law. Basically, so they're not. So basically, all it is if somebody transportates the parent and the minor, they're the ones going to be in trouble, not them. But what if all they have to do is go and talk to the transportation division, set this up, and then they just put the blame on the transportation business that they will basically for it. But then they basically, defendants may assert a defense if the reasonable based on direction informed from a parent that required parental consent or notification has already occurred. This defense, so basically, does not apply if the defendant knowingly transported a minor from whom they committed incest. In just the case, criminal penalties still apply if they've committed incest. It really bothers me so much so when it's incest. When it's like, oh, well, penalties are still going to apply for the incest. Penalties are still going to apply as long as it's rape. The penalties are still going to apply. It does not protect the minor. It does not protect the parent. It does not protect them. All they're doing is they're making it so much so hard for these blue states who are knowingly protecting the laws and the rights and the sanctity of having the right to make an informed decision. Leaving it up to the doctor, leaving it up to the parent, leaving it up to that child, leaving it up to them as a collective to do this. That they're not protecting a child, they're not protecting it, they're only harming and making it worse. And just because the law says it there doesn't mean that the doctors know what they're talking about, or these politicians know that they're protecting. It's like if the politician in Florida had to go and get this and had to share the law that it doesn't do this, um, they're not telling the truth. They're not out there telling the whole entire side of the story. They go out there and claim that that everybody's getting an abortion, everybody's getting this. I know that there are some times where abortion happens because and it happens because someone doesn't want the child. That's understandable. Okay, I understand that. When they want to prevent that, but there's a handful of times where there might be a handful of them, and let God deal with it. Let God handle the situation. Okay, it should be left up to God. It should be left up to the doctors. It should be left up to the parents. Okay, it should be left up to them to decide on all this issue, and let them to absolutely decide on what is best to be done for the instance of these things. And yet every time sorry guys, and yet hold on, I need to blow my nose. I am still kind of on that end of being sick, but I'm not like super sick, of course. Um I am getting my way, so hold on. Okay. Yeah, you guys will hear that pop and stuff, but it's like they're not protecting the children. They're not protecting the life of the child. A child who is 13 years of age should not be getting pregnant at all. I understand. I understand occasionally. I understand, but like there may be some extreme cases where the child, but a child should not be marrying a 30-year-old person. Okay, a child should not be marrying anybody at any age, of course, um, above their preferred age. First off, a child shouldn't be going. Um, hold on, let me go and check the company. I have two. Okay. Um, let me go to the garage manager. We only have three of three, so okay. Okay. Um, it is in no way, shape, or form is anybody out there protecting the life, protecting the child. They think that they're protecting them when they're not. There's this guy who happens to be a 18-year-old still going to high school, should not be subjugated to minors laws. They should be subjugated as an adult, unless the law pretty much. I actually looked it up and made sure this guy basically wants to make sure that any minor, basically minors aren't put on the sex offenders registry, um, out there in these things. And it's like that's what happens with a minor, and it's like these sex laws. I actually didn't look it up, but I've watched a few people talk about it. To be honest, it's like you're not really protecting the child. These you're he's basically, this guy's only trying to prevent it for his child. He's only making it now because of his child. Okay, I would understand if it was just a bunch of people trying to change it a little bit to better do it, but they're not. It's not being done that way. It's only being done to help your child get through this. Well, basically, I am now going to basically put into the law that basically, if I was, you know, in the legislative branch of the United States, I would make sure that any child willingly or knowingly was raped or done anything, raped um, or had sex with an adult over the age of 17 are to be tried as an adult in all states. Doesn't matter if they went to high school, doesn't matter if they did this. You want to protect children, that's a great way to protect children. That's a great way to save a children's life. You know, there are things that they don't want to protect. They don't want to save a life. They want to destroy people's lives because first off, they say, oh well, they want to protect, stop price gouging groceries. Is a thing that's been going on. They want to stop price gouging groceries. Great, fantastic. I think they should stop. They should have that same thing going on, and stop price gouging medical. If I can go down to Mexico to go and get the medication for half the cost of what it costs for me to go and get it, if it's $500 to get that medication, okay, I should I should be able to get that medication for 250 without insurance. It is without insurance, and then with insurance, I should only have to be able to pay $50 to $100 for it. I should be only paying $50 for it with insurance. I shouldn't have to go and get and not be able to get medication. They don't want to protect that. They don't want to protect a child who, willingly, they want to make children work. Okay, a child should be going to school to get an education, to learn. When they turn 16, they have the right to go and get a job, to get some job. But they want to remove those worker protections. They want to take away the rights of workers. Um, and nobody, and yet nobody seems to really, really take care of children because they wanna basically not allow children who are, they don't want to feed a child who goes hungry at school. They want to make sure that they're always paying for the food. They're always paying for things, and it's like they're trying to better themselves for having to pay for food. Well, why don't we just make all elementary kids not pay for their food, and do that? Why can't these children and it's like they're not there to um oof, just barely over the line. Um, so they're not really out there to protect people's lives. Uh, yeah, and so it's like they're not out there to protect. Um, they're not out there to protecting people's lives. They're out there to make these people seem like they want to criminalize abortion entirely, and it's like no, and and it's like they're not out there to protect life. They're not out there to protect people. You know, um, they want to take away rights and take away people's ability to make their own decisions in life. You know, the one thing that they want to take away a person's right to marry. You know, they're pushing this narrative that if I wanted to get married and say I want to get married to a wife, I can't get married to I can get married to a wife if um you know, I can get married to a wife if I am a man, but if I'm a female, I can't get married to anybody other than, they like I would have to basically be able, if I wanted to get married, I'd have to get, like, if I lived in a red state, I'd have to get married based on biological sex. Pretty much is probably what they're gonna do. They're probably gonna make it so that anybody who gets married, like if you're like same-sex marriage is overturned, it's wrong. They want to criminalize anybody having that, and that, and it's like they don't care. They don't care about um getting external contracts. No, the external market. Sorry. Okay. So it's like they don't care about the safety and the livelihood of anybody's life. They only want what they want to control, and they want to control the narrative. It's like they want to make sure that kids are safe from not accessing mental health. And it's like, look, the mental health thing is like, if you're in need of mental health, use the Trevor Project, guys. Like, please, mental health mental health is a best bet, and use it if you're LGBTQ and you're a child. Um, or you have children who are this. There, a lot of things within these red states. They want to criminalize an LGBTQ care. They want to make sure that LGBTQ is a horrible piece of crap, and it's not. It's like, I don't care if you kiss. It doesn't bother me if you kiss and you're a man. It doesn't bother me if you kiss and you're a woman. It doesn't matter if you are kissing the same sex couple. I don't care if you're kissing. I don't care who you are. It doesn't bother me. Okay? It doesn't necessarily bother me. I watch it all the time on TV. It does not bother me. Okay? What bothers me is when these. Yeah, I did not see you there, buddy. Ugh. you know, they aren't out there to protect children. They're not out there to protect people. They're out there to remove people's lives, to destroy anybody who does not fit in their mold. You know, well, I'm sorry about that. It's telling me it's my alarm telling me I need to live stream at 9 o'clock because I might end up forgetting. Um, and so they don't care about what happens with a life of the child. They don't care about anybody but their corporate donors, and or they don't or what Donald Trump says, or yeah, his service recommended. Just because it's not that bad right now. Because I'm gonna do some trailer configurator. Um, no. Yes. I wanted to see. No, I really like that. We have a wind deflector. Not gonna. I would mind actually adding a wind deflector. confirm that. Um, no new engine. Vector Vista. Okay. Okay. Double three. We'll confirm that. Because I actually like having the... Got the horn adapter there. Standard. Third. Go modern. Standard lights. Um, yep. Okay. So, hello, Ballistic22. Thank you for joining the TikTok live. And all right, it's it's just crazy with what a lot of things are going on in this world, and it's just you know okay. I did not see you pull up. I think I can load in the latest save because it should say right after that. I was not focused. Yeah, it's okay. I don't care too much about all the modifications, really. But um, you know, it's just crazy to see what a lot of these um it's just crazy to see a lot of the life that the internet's going to be here in the next um we're going to quickly just no, I want hold on. That's right there, but that's not what I'm looking for. Double three. Put the exclusive. And I'll put the modern there. We're trying to go as much chrome as I can, but not a lot of chrome. Like, I don't want the tanks to be chrome. Yeah, that can stay default. So there was a couple of things I wanted to change, just Yep, nope, that's chrome. Paint 2 for that as well. Alright. I think Todd and Joy. Um, yeah, I really didn't want to add the windbag into it anyways. Anyway, and it's like you want to take out all the online child safety stuff and you take it away. Okay, I want to keep children protected. I do. I'm not somebody that doesn't want to protect the children, but at the same time, I also want to be able to protect my own data and my own stuff. We're gonna go to BNSF. It's like I want to be able to have the ability to protect people, to protect the life of the mother and protect the life of the child. Yes, I do. But going about it shouldn't be done to undermine the safety of others and undermine the safety of of taking away somebody else's right because your butt hurt. Um, um, America, um, and all of this, and it's one of those things where you can't. This is dry milk. Going to Winnemucca, Nevada, though. The external market is going down to Clovis, New Mexico. Um, and you can't say that you are willing to do it. Now, if you have another take and why, and you can't just um Like if you're talking about the adult content, you can't just come out here and say, oh well, it's the kids. You can't just come out here and say, oh well, I don't care about my data. You will eventually. You will eventually when a company comes out and says, "Hey, we're gonna um, we're going out there and we're going to um, let's go into Bakersfield. I don't want super long distance. Bakersfield's 15 hours. Great Falls is 22 hours. That's the only one that's gonna be 17 hours. Um, I'm gonna set you, and we're actually gonna take this, which is the one right here. Here, because I really don't like it when I see people get all choked up and worked up on saying that they're gonna, oh well, and it's like, if you want to find me a good solution that protects the kids from online and also protects our data without utilizing our ID, without utilizing our um without using a single ounce of ID or facial recognition or credit card information, what can we do? Well, the only solution I have right now is the only solution I have right now is taking the online safety and protecting children by using those parental controls, and that's the easiest thing you can do. I don't want to take away your um I don't want to do anything of that nature and take away people's rights and data and stuff. If you can find me a solution on 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 that, please do let me know in the comments. Please do let me know through live streaming. And also, if you guys want to see content that's not derivative of certain things, like if you want to protect children, you want to protect the life of the mother, well then you need to come up with a better solution to not getting rid of abortion, um, and allowing abortions to be kept and protecting the life of that child. Because you cannot come up with another solution. It should be up to God, and it should be up to up to the family and up to the parents to take that solution and make that solution. It's no, it's not a no-brainer. It's no-brainer on that. If you want to find me another solution to protecting kids online without the parental controls and without having us to submit certain criteria and certain data, then let me know. Because if I have to require to submit data as my own personal data, then I don't want to do it. I'm sorry. Um, and I would basically go in and I said I'm basically going to codify. I'm going to go up there and I would codify Roe v. Wade immediately. There are three things that I would codify right away that I would do in the first day of office. Codify Roe v. Wade, codify it, and make it legal in the United States. Codify it, making sure that the law stands and protects. Codify Roe v. Wade. Basically, I would put in there that that basically I would put in there that if it's 21 up to 21 weeks for the mother, up to 21 weeks if you're an adult, um, an adult, um, if you're an adult, I would put it up to basically 18 to 19, 18 to 19 to 20 weeks. Um, Pretty much I would basically give it enough for, because 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, yeah. I would basically put it up to, um, 20 weeks. 20 weeks. For adults, children would get an additional, children who are under the age of 16. Anybody under the age of 16 will get an additional, will get an additional, will get 24 weeks on it. Um, and that would be the only exception to those rules. And I would basically, unless it's involved in a rape or incest or to save the life of the mother after that point. And that is pretty much how I would stand and put it right there. Um, and it basically making it absolutely. And any state that has it set to ban abortion, pretty much has to follow this because they can't ban abortion. If they have it set at um if they have it set for at a younger age, I'm not gonna. I would stand there to codify that day one. I'd codify the right to marriage day one as well. Um, Codify it to make sure that codify Obergefell v. Hodges, codify it into law, make it so that it's not just by the Supreme Court, but codify it, make it safe. And then the other one I would codify right away, that I would try to codify right away, is making sure that transgenders who are of the nature of over the age of 18 has the right to get a surgery, has the right to get every ounce, and has the right to exist. Day one. On day and these are the things that I would try to get done day one. Might not get done right away because you got to go through a lot of other legal representative. But those were the two things that I would stand up and and effectively do so, to do so immediately, making sure that because it's like I'm gonna tell you right now. Does it bother me that you drink? That you choose to drink? Yes, it does. They like, and I'll go up to this point and say, if it so bothers you that a child changes their gender, that a child, that a mother has an abortion, then I don't want to see you getting drunk, coming home, being drunk, and beating up your wife, beating up your significant other, to be more precise. I don't want to see you smoking around children. I don't want to see you smoking at all. Um, I would pretty much ban smoking, ban cigarettes, um, ban alcohol completely, and all these people would be, oh well, they're trying to take away my right to. Yeah, you're taking away my right to exist. You're taking away my right to be a decent human being and allow to have my rights to exist. Oh well, it's going well, and oh well, those things are going against God. Well, so are yours. So are yours. Oh well, no, that's only yours. No, that is not just my God. It's your God too. Because you don't like the whole thing with all of this is the whole thing with all of this is you say you want to protect children, you say you want to protect the life of the mother, you say you want to protect these things, then why don't you ban alcohol? Why don't we codify banning of alcohol, codify the banning of cigarettes across this country, including e-cigs and anything related to that, banning of it. Um, ban chewing tobacco too, ban tobacco altogether because it harms kids, it harms your body. Ban coffee, ban tea unless it's used for and I would ban tea unless it's used for medicinal purposes and only herbal tea. And all these people would be up in arms and crazy because oh well they'd be all up in arms, and I said you would be all up in in my butt just because I decided that I want to ban coffee and I wanted to ban tea, I wanted to ban um uh alcohol, and I'd ban alcohol unless it's used for um for the purpose of church, and only the use of purpose in church for that purpose and only for that purpose. You have access to it. You will basically, you are caught drunk, you are caught drinking at all, you will be sentenced to basically 5 years in prison. If you do it again, you'll be sentenced to 15. And then if you do it a third time, you'll be sentenced to 50 years in prison. And not only that, you will then also not only be sentenced to 50 years in prison, you'll be sentenced to life, put to death, basically sentenced to death for having done it 3 times. You will go to jail. You will be put on death row for it. Because I am sick and tired of people claiming that oh it's the gun's fault, oh it's the alcohol. The alcohol does a lot more damage than a lot of people realize. Alcohol destroys marriages. Alcohol destroys families. I know because it happens. It's one of those things that nobody should be doing that. Okay? It's like so having kissing, okay? Kissing somebody does not does not harm a kissing a man does not harm a child. A man kissing a man does not harm a child. A woman kissing another woman does not harm a freaking child. I am sorry. the problem with all of this isn't because this child is X or this child's Y or this child's Z or whatever. It does not harm a child if if a child transitions to another gender. It does not harm anybody around them. It doesn't physically harm them. It doesn't mentally, maybe mentally a little bit, but they'll get over it. A lot of people will get over this fact. You know, all these people are claiming um and all these people want to go out and eat meat, okay? And we eat, and I would basically that you cannot that if you are caught eating meat outside of a select couple of days throughout the week, you are caught eating meat, you will outside of those 2 days you'll be sentenced. Because the whole problem is oh, we gotta eat meat sparingly. We gotta make sure that we're taking that we should, and it's like all of these people are gonna get mad. All these people get angry because of the issue of it's going against God by using by by doing a lot of things that really do affect it. It's like, oh well then, did not mean to do that. So it really is all bad when it's like no, because it's like you want to take away the rights of then, and it's like okay, even if I was a Republican, I would still end up having the views of getting rid of alcohol, getting rid of cigarettes, because guess what? I have a Christian held view of that. So these Republicans and these places that believe that that believe well they see they you guys it's like it's like Ted Cruz got like a while back got annoyed. Thanks Max for joining. Um, guys, if I don't see your messages through TikTok or right away, it is really I'm really am double checking, but it's really kind of hard for me to check your stream, to check the stream here and down here, encompassing of the of it in all of this. So it's like it's like then and it really does constitute the problem. It's like So yeah, I'm getting on at 10:30 glass. That's when I was planning on getting on. But I actually probably will because it's gonna take. Okay, because I can get on now if you want me to, unless you're still gonna go play with Bass. Because it's gonna take me a while to get things done, anyways. Cause I can pull in. Cause I can pull in right now, go get some rest, and we can hop on and play some Fortnite. Unless you're gonna hop in and go play with Seabass right away. Oh, you know what? Let me do also another thing too, guys. Um, let me go. Cause I'm gonna check Scarlett's schedule for the night. Cause he sends me send me a thing where how long he can be on. Today is the 13th. He can only be on till 1:50. So I am going to see how when he gets on. Okay, so he said 10:30, so I just wanted to remind him just in case he decides to change something. Um, and if he does, I can just pull up here off onto one of these side roads and go sit. So I want to make sure that he checks that schedule. It makes it easier when I don't have to. Okay, so he's still gonna be on at 10:30 no matter what, which it's okay. So I will just keep going then. Um, yeah, I could not slow down before there. So anyway, um, so um, and then not only that, um, 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 new flavor, Baja, um, Baja Midnight. Um, and then as we're waiting for oops. Um, then not only that, um, Battlefield 6, guys. There was a thing I wanted to show. Battlefield 6 bans 300k cheaters in just 3 days. So basically, 300k cheaters. If we take just 300k, that is half of what Call of Duty had. Requiring TPM 2.0 or requiring these extra steps, they still found cheaters um, there. So it's like um, Trump wants to make on that. Um, and West Virginia. What? Why am I still sitting here waiting? Um, and now I won't listen to George Strait now because of George Strait was there. It's like I won't listen to Kiss. Kiss. There are like I don't go out and stop buying stuff because it's just hard to not. But I can stop listening to music from certain people. Um, I won't even watch Sylvester Stallone anymore um because he ended up supporting Trump and okay, here's what we're gonna do because we're having a problem with traffic. Live 8:13. I've save it there. um um I'm gonna check a thing real quick. Um we're gonna check a thing real quick because I might hop off now. Um and then tomorrow afternoon I'll hop on and we'll finish this thing. So don't know if we're gonna get the free V-Bucks tonight or not. Thanks, Caden. I was checking why am I still sitting here. Um, so pretty much all we're going to do is we're going to click on load this because we. Thank you. Ugh. Because we had this thing where this car was not moving and I couldn't do anything, so. So it's just crazy to see that I'm one that likes to take into consideration the safety of others as much as I can. I'm not. It's like I always like. I want to make sure that everybody has the right to medicine. Everybody has the right to access to what they need. Oh, I got a red light violation by accident. Now I could load back up, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to do it twice. I'm just doing it to. Try not to blow it in front of you guys, but it's really hard. It's really hard not to. So it's one of those things where um, where it takes a lot out of people to just access the things today. It's gonna get a lot worse. The world, and this is just the world. This isn't like the the world is just getting ridiculous. You know, they're policing the internet to a point to where it shouldn't be policed. There's parental controls. There's a lot of things. If you guys want me to do on a parental controls video on Windows, of course, using Windows, um, utilizing, showing you guys the parental controls that you have available to you through Windows, through your phone, um, and having access to that, you guys can let me know because it would be greatly appreciated if you guys would like to see something like that. I'll briefly, if I do talk about it, I will briefly. I will briefly talk about it, but for me, I am some. I this lady does like to take care of children. I don't want to see children being harmed, of course, but I also don't want to lose a lot of the data on making sure that we are staying protected and making sure that we have this. You know, blocking porn, blocking the adult content in places does not really prevent people from having access. Because if they're going to start doing that, it is always a good idea to start taking your favorite creators and creating scripts, finding things so that you can, if you have your favorite creators that you watch and you have their content that you want to watch, have a script, create a script, call a script, let it like check it every day and do things. You can find ways to get around these things. You can find ways to prevent yourself from, oh well, you don't have access to it. Well, all you have to do is use a VPN, find ways, you know. Use PIA. Don't use Proton, guys. If you want secure, safe email, don't use Proton because it's not secure. It's not safe. It may be secure and safe for bad actors, but it's not secure and safe for government issued logs and stuff. Even though they're Swiss based, they still have logs and they still have a lot of things where you know thanks thanks Ghost for joining the TikTok live. Thank you. Thanks for at least just trying to join. I know a lot of topics. Hey, there's a lot of topics out there that are absolutely um and I need to sleep, so we're at a good spot. Oh, I'm gonna go up to this point, enter the key to rest. You know, it's one of those things where you know, um, I I am going to be honest, like so it's okay. Now we better turn on my lights because I forgot to turn them on. I get a violation if I don't. I missed one. Occasionally, I do get those. Oh, close. Um, and guys, I don't have music on tonight because I am recording for YouTube. So, this is going effectively up right away. Um, when I get done streaming, so it won't be live right away, but it will be up right away. Um, so it's like nobody seems to really take into that consideration of that that you look at things and you look at the optics of what's going on and the optics of what's being done. So it's one of those. Thanks, Abby, for joining. It's really a lot of the things that they're trying to say. Oh, they're protecting children. No, they're not. They go out there and say protecting children, protecting this. There's no way of protecting the children because I'm going to tell you right now. Okay, I don't have access to adult content now, and I'm in the United States. Whoop de doo. Flip the switch, turn on a VPN, and actually start watching the content without having to be using my identification. Oh, turn on a VPN. I don't have to worry about it. Worry about it. It's like I use Linux. I'm on the Penguin train. I browse pretty much. I don't browse on my laptop. All I do is just connect to uploading and um, accessing, posting up to the internet, and that's it. I don't access the internet in any other way, shape, or form. If they wanna get access to my data, they'll have to come through to this machine, and even then, I make sure I block a lot of the stuff, make myself very private. I'm going to make it very private, and I'm going to make sure. Yeah, we should be able to get there in a decent time. I might not. I might not have um any safety. I might just say, look, adults are gonna find access. They're like you start doing that. Well, now they're going to start creating. Because now I would go start creating video stores, create a video store specifically for adults, and say, you know what, if a child wants to have access, they can have access to it. But I would go out, start making an adult rental store where basically you just go in. We basically have all the stuff there, and then you basically want it. Um, we give it to you, and you just come in and do that. And guess what? Basically, and I'm also going to start that if I know that you're a politician, if I know that you are, you're going to be blasted out on the interwebs for um for it, and making sure that that this guy you can come share it. Make sure that this guy you can come in and watch, this guy coming in and watching the content. And it would blast all of these politicians that do, to make sure um that these politicians that their only goal. Cool. And I'd go out there and I would basically say, okay, well then I'm gonna basically make sure that you wanna do a lot of the access to this place. It's like, okay, I have a business now. I'll start by doing that and making sure that you know I'm gonna go up there and I'm gonna slap this thing up there that basically any state that bans, that requires ID, or um requires it or requires the use of facial recognition of any kind to access content on the internet, is illegal. Uploading certain content will not, but blocking content used for any reason. Doesn't matter. Accessing it or uploading certain content. If it's an adult content, look at how close that is. So yeah, no, I would find ways to do that. To basically say that, and then I would go in and I said, okay, I'm gonna work with the adult sites, with the hub site, and actually implement the requirement to implement that requirement on it. Now, of course, I'm gonna load the latest one because there's three updates late for it, but because I was this is a great way for me to get around. So it's like they don't. They it's like yeah they don't want to they don't want to take away. It's like okay, well then, I'm gonna basically go out there and say okay, then um I'm pretty much gonna out there that I will go out and start putting in site exclusions, start adding in basically creating a list of sites that cannot be doing ID verification, specifically for these certain. It's like don't go look up transparent cleaning on YouTube. Um, you know, just don't. Like don't even think about it because if it's like I am literally telling you that there are a lot of things out there that do not protect a child, that do not protect the child because guess what? YouTube's not going to protect the child. YouTube's going to try, but they're not. They're going to be age gated or whatnot. But what if something by accident, this AI that they're trying to implement for YouTube, what if that somehow, some way, shape, or form, this AI kind of hallucinates for a day and gives that child the adult content that they weren't supposed to get, and they saw this, and it's like, they're not out there protecting these kids. It's like, it's like I hope my brother hope that I'll teach him about those things instead of because I'd rather teach people about the safetiness of not even that's why most of the time when I have things or I do things, it's like I find ways to find ways to protect people. I always am there to protect people. I'm always there to find um no company, driver manager, no, truck manager, um um okay. Then I'm also going to upgrade you to the same, and then I'm gonna copy config. Copy the full config over there because I want to make sure that everybody's running the same vehicle. Um, and actually, hold on, we're gonna go back this way because this truck is going at least 60 miles an hour. So I am right there wanting to protect a child, wanting there to do it, but I know I'm repeating myself, guys, because I didn't come up with a lot of things, but there are some things out there like bazzite, Fedora 42. Um, I love Fedora. I love the ability for Linux to be a thing. And Jay's 2 cents is kind of not the one that started me on it. Is actually like because I was going to use the Steam Deck. I wanted to use the Steam Deck right off the bat. I wanted to do that. I'm going to use bazzite. I'm going to get a Steam Deck, of course. I'm going to get the actual Steam Deck itself. Um, but then I'm going to um, at some point I'm going to get a Steam Deck and have the Steam Deck be my travel companion for gaming. Um, for me being able to play games directly on the go, because I am this kind of person that wants to embrace the Linux based stuff. I am this person that really stands and agrees with with this. I'm not somebody that uses a 1660 T NVIDIA 1660. Me, I want to start working on getting an upgraded computer, finding ways to get over to Linux, um, and being able to do so, and not be weighted down on an operating system. I want to start getting away from Microsoft. I'm not entirely wanting to get away from them. Like I still have an account with them. I still have an email. I still have certain things with them. Um, but I want um to have bazzite as my to have bazzite as a main driver driving force for it. Making sure, I might go and not get a Steam Deck itself, but get one of these other things and install bazzite on it and go for it. you know, but I'm if Steam Deck comes available to use, I might not go and get the Steam Deck itself, but just go get one that has a Steam OS available for it. To be honest, um, but mostly right now I'd go for the Steam Deck just because I want to support Valve and give them the money that they need to deserve to consistently make SteamOS and continue to make it so that we can start taking our whoops so that we can start taking back our sanity. And I'm taking my driver. um so now I'm going to start taking the longer distance. um I'm going to start taking the longer distance into account, for the rest of for this one. Because I want to start. It's well balanced, but I want to start getting them out and going out and doing things. Um, so I'm not somebody that likes to not do likes to take her time and understand certain things before I make full undivided judgment. But with the gun issue, it's like they want to start taking into consideration allowing anybody to have a gun, but it's like but yet they don't want to protect, but they're saying they're protecting children by removing certain things and removing things, and it's like the they they want to just allow guns to be easily accessible by anybody. And it's like I don't want that. I want there to be um I want guns to have a safety net. um I want there to be a safety, to be safe, um to have the at least some standard protection. Like, I don't want them to, like, the silencer thing. It's like, no, I think that silencers shouldn't be that expensive. I think it should be, you want a silencer, you have to pay $1,000 now instead of, um you know I'm kind of this person that does not like guns to an extent. um in the hands of military, or in the hands of use for military purposes, of course, for having some sense of that. I want better safety in our electricity, being able to use wind, solar, being able to use any amount of details through it all. You know, I'm always there wanting to make sure that we don't let these governments take control of our lives, but yet having some sense, like, I don't mind that you're allowed to have a silencer. I don't care, but it should be that it should be, I would I would be willing to even allow a, like, you want to modify your gun, you want to make modifications, you can get $100 tax for each item in there to pay $100 off, because we need to find some way to pay off our debt. Okay, and thanks MPI 333 for joining the TikTok, the Trovo side. Thank you. Being able to allow to have some sense of safety and things. They want to take control of our lives. They want to make it horrible for everybody. And it's like they want to take your, like I always say, it's like you can marry whoever you want. I don't care if you are polygamist. I don't care. So, but anyways, I've got 15 minutes left, guys. Um, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to load up a previous save. I'm going to save it there. I'm going to take about 15-minute break. Maybe a 15 to 20-minute break. Um, and I will be on playing some Fortnite um, there. Um, so anyway, we will catch you guys back in a few minutes. And if you guys are watching here on YouTube, make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit that bell notification. If you're on Trovo or TikTok and you guys gotta go, make sure you guys are followed on both of these. It's greatly appreciated. I know that I am really hot button issues with a lot of things and that, but anyway, if you want to see more of this, we'll be back tomorrow afternoon, fully live. So we will see you guys then. If you're watching this on YouTube, that's the 14th of August. Probably already going to be up and going right away for this. If you want to see the continuation of this drive and continue to see some more political commentator or comments, I do this every day, Tuesday through Friday, sometimes Saturday, rarely Saturday and Sunday are pretty much all the time I do. Monday I don't. And I occasionally might not do it during the week either if I decide I want to just go and play that game that I was playing, like Parkitect. If you guys want to see a Parkitect series, I will probably do a Parkitect series. And you guys can let me know in there. If you guys would want to, let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about what I've talked about today. The other thing I do want to say, the last thing is, I hate that Trump has made the White House gold now. He's going out in full zone and full things. So, anyway, yes, we'll catch you guys later.